Tony, into May and things are still looking bad in some spots.
Yeah, I mean in Canterbury and in the lower Wairarapa particularly, yeah, there hasn't really been, well, in North Canterbury there's been virtually no rain, despite the fact that we've had some wet days here and we got a good 30 millimetres this time last week. There's been that just didn't make it into North Canterbury, and all the way up North Canterbury and into sort of the Kaikoura area. Lower part of the Wairarapa didn't get very much. Hawke's Bay's in not bad shape. They could do with some rain, but they've had enough rain. They have warm temperatures, and so things have started to grow up there. So they're sort of okay, but are going to need a bit of a top up if this warm weather continues. And the really sad thing is, it is a sad thing, is that we've got great growing conditions right now for this time of the year, and you think about the soil temperatures are still up around 12, 13 degrees. We've got 18, 19, 20, sometimes higher daytime temperatures. So we're getting conditions that would allow us to grow, and all that's stopping us in North Canterbury is a complete lack of moisture. And so we're going to go into the winter, and things are really not in very good shape in those areas.
So how does it look if you dig a post hole? Is the bottom half dust?
Oh, if you're on irrigated properties, you're fine, because you will have been irrigating, and so the rainfall has been an absolute blessing. It's meant that everybody can turn off, and they've been turned off now for 2.5 to 3 weeks. But if you're on dry land, then we've probably wet up about the top 30 or 40 centimetres, and from there on down, it's very dry. And in fact, at our Lysimeter site out at the airport, which is on very, very stony soils, believe me, on very, very stony soils, we've still got a deficit of about 70 millimetres in the top 1.6 metres, which means we've got about a month's rainfall at this time of the year needed to refill that part of the profile before we start getting any drainage into groundwater. So there's ramifications going on through the winter now, heading in towards spring again, and let's face it, we might talk about spring, but it's only a season away basically now, and without any rainfall to give us that recharge, then we could have some problems coming spring.
I guess there'll be a lot of people contacting people such as yourself and saying, hey listen, I've got to do something about irrigation now.
We've got a few people that are talking about new irrigation systems. I mean, most of them will have decided by now, because the lead time is, to put irrigation systems is 9 to 10 weeks for order of most of the equipment that you need. So, that's 3 months. So, or 2.5 to 3 months. So if it's going to happen for this spring, then it's already in train.
Long-term effects?
Yeah, there's rumour that long-term, how much credence you put on that long-term pattern. But if you look at the patterns, then they're saying that El Nino. It looks like El Nino again next spring.
So that means we're going to be in trouble.
Yeah. Look, we haven't depleted groundwater, but we've lowered groundwater levels. We're still well above sort of a safety margin, but boy, if you start getting a sequence of high water use in the growing season and then lack of recharge in the winter, then that's when we start to get into trouble with groundwater systems. If you look at storage systems like the Opua Dam, for example, we need some really good easterly rainfalls, big easterly systems to fill that up.
And if we don't?
And if we don't, then it probably won't fill this winter, so we'll be in trouble again next spring.
And we're not very far away from spring.
No, that's right. We're just one season away from spring. We're winter effectively away now from spring, and if El Nino is what happens in the spring, then it will start in that mid-August, come September period, and so we could be well into things again by September again, like we were last year.
And Tony, you've got a bit of a rhyme about snow.
I do have a rhyme about snow, and I can thank our neighbours where we house ourselves for this, and they always said snow in May goes away, snow in June is too soon, and snow in July is a plenty.